see here. Let me just find out where all the little arrows and whatnot are. So like Michelle said, we're going to be talking about the community solar project here in New Jersey. And can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, okay. And again, my name's Tracy Woods. I work for Sustainable Jersey, and Sawyer Morgan is also here from the BPU, is going to be talking with us. And before we get into today's topic, I just want to quickly introduce Sustainable Jersey in case there's some people in the room that are not familiar with it. We, like ANJEC, are a statewide nonprofit, and we have a certification program that supports all the areas of sustainability, everything from gardens to tree planting to energy projects. And we also have a lot of tools and guidance documents on our website. We also give grants and funding to municipalities and schools, and have a regional hubs program that encourages collaboration between municipalities and school districts. Right as of now, there are 64% of New Jersey school districts are participating in the Sustainable Jersey for Schools program, and 82% of New Jersey's municipalities are participating in the municipal program. And so if you're interested in hearing more information about our certification program and our grants program, check out the Sustainable Jersey website. And for today's presentation, first, I'm going to run you through some of the basics of community solar. And then Dr. Morgan's going to talk about the new permanent program and the program updates that are coming to the New Jersey program. Then I'm going to do a demonstration of the New Jersey Community Solar Project Finder, which is a new tool to help people identify projects that are serving their local area. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the municipal role in community solar and outreach efforts that municipalities can take on. And so starting with community solar basics, let me just take like a little show of hands here. How many of you are familiar with community solar? Like if I just, so like most of you have at least heard of it, but just to go at its most essential core, community solar is when you take a large array that's put on a site like a factory building or a storage facility, and they put a large solar array on that facility, and then individual households or other types of entities can subscribe for a smaller piece of that larger solar array and see a credit from the generation of that piece that they subscribe to on their energy bill, similar to if they had solar on their own roof. And one of the benefits, some of the benefits of having community solar projects is it gives access to solar for people who couldn't have solar on their own property, either because they're renters, they don't have a roof, or maybe their roof's not suitable for solar, either because they have shade, or the cost of doing the installation is prohibitive, or any reason why you couldn't have solar on your own roof. This gives you an option for participating in the renewable energy economy. And let's see. There we go. So just beyond that, some of the benefits of community solar is it expands access to solar, again, for people who are renting or have other issues. It creates energy savings for subscribers. And in just a second, we'll talk a little bit more about how the billing structure works. It supports the local generation of clean energy and supports local workforce creation. And also it can facilitate the positive development of difficult sites. If you look on the side of the screen here, this is the landfill in Manchester. That was a real issue for the city of Manchester. They had to pay fines because it wasn't capped, and they really had issues with their landfill. And then when the community solar project came to town, as part of the development of that site, they capped the landfill and put on these solar arrays. And now the residents of Manchester and the surrounding communities are able to subscribe to this project as well. So it was a real win-win-win for the city of Manchester to have access to this program. There are other stories like that from around New Jersey of sites that were difficult that were able to be positively developed in community solar. And okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the billing structure of community solar. Welcome. So first, the subscriber, the potential subscriber picks a project that they want to subscribe to. And then once they sign up for the project, they will see a billing credit on their electric bill. And this is an example from a PSEG bill, and you can see right along with all the other charges, they get a line item credit for their community solar credit, right? And then just like in a traditional solar project, where you would get the generation credit on your electric bill and separately you would pay for the cost, you would pay the developer for the cost of putting the solar on your roof. You will pay your subscription fees separately. And so you'll get the credit on your utility bill, and then you will pay for the subscription costs separately. And in most projects, the structure of the subscription fee is set at a percentage of the credit. So like in this example, you'll see that if the credit that you got on the electric bill was $100 and you were set to receive guaranteed to receive 20% of the savings from the project, then you would get a bill for $80 for your subscription fee because you're keeping 20%, right? And the percentage savings that is reserved for the subscriber varies from project to project. And in just a moment, we're going to look at the project finder, and that'll show you a little bit more how to know what kind of percentage savings you can see with each specific project. But the thing to understand is that regardless of what the generation credit is for each month, your savings that you have will always be that same percentage of the credit. So you won't ever be at risk of going in the red. Like the payment would never be higher than the credit that you got on your utility bill. Now, one important note is that some of the subscriber organizations are using third-party consolidated billing, which means that they've made a contract with a company to put these two, the credit and the subscription fee together in one bill. So you might, don't be surprised if you see that as an option with some of the projects. And so how much can residents save? Most of community solar subscriptions right now, the savings are structured at between 10 and 30%. Sometimes projects will offer an enhanced percentage of savings for low and moderate income residents. And sometimes projects, if a municipality is really helping to do outreach in that community, they'll say like, okay, residents of this community that are really supporting this project, you'll get a couple extra percentage points of discount, in your savings in return for the fact that your municipality is doing outreach for this project. So it'll vary from project to project. And now to tell us a little bit more about how the community solar project is going to be changing and in the years ahead is Sawyer Morgan from the BPU. And as it's coming up, I just want to show, this is a little bit old now. This is a NREL study from 2021, but it shows the amount of solar access for low and moderate income residents in different states. And you'll see this is back when projects were awarded and had not yet been built in New Jersey. And look at that big skyscraper that we have compared to the other states. And now, as we get to the deadline for those pilot projects to be built, this if this chart was from today, allows you to do that now to show that that is they're installed. So that's really a great job that the BPU has done in supporting community solar.
Thanks everyone for being here. We have just gotten into a transition from going from a pilot program to a permanent program at Ford. And so this will show some examples of some community solar projects that we already have running in the state, but we're looking to really exponentially grow the program so that a lot more customers across the state can participate in community solar. So we've already gone over this, but we have had 2 program years in our pilot program. In the first one, there were 20 projects out of the 45 that were awarded have come online already. That has a total of 44 megawatts of power. And in our second year, the board awarded 105 projects. Of those, I think this number is actually a few months old. 8 projects have come online. We're now at 35 projects total. Community solar have come online as of the end of August, with a total of 59 megawatts of power. So those projects are serving over 7,000 New Jersey customers already. And so we have about another 90 projects that are expected to come online by November 4th. So quite a few of those are coming up to the deadline, completing their construction and coming to operate with the grid very soon. And so all those companies are looking for a lot of subscribers at the moment. There was originally going to be 3 years of a pilot program, but instead we've moved directly to a permanent program. And a quick overview of these pilot program awards. Again, we had 150 applications. So this map shows in the red those that are already in service, in the blue that are in development, construction. A few of the blue ones have actually turned red in the last 2 months since I made this map. But every one of these projects is a low and moderate income project. So all capacity of every project has to serve at least has to go toward low and moderate income households. Of these, the vast majority of them are on rooftops, mostly warehouse rooftops, but also some self-storage facilities, churches, businesses, industrial sites, but also a handful on landfills and brownfields, a few parking canopies. So now the board has in August, we established the permanent community solar energy program. And so this program is going to have a lot more capacity available for new projects to apply and be able to join the program to construct and provide that power to residents around the state. So I'll go over some of the parameters of the program and how that might relate to the cities that you live in and how you can stay involved. And so overall this year, we're about to open 225 megawatts of projects. So that's more than we've already awarded altogether total. That's going to be approved in November, December. So we're very excited to have that much coming online. And so that's going to be that 225 megawatts is going to serve roughly 30,000 New Jersey households. And we're going to do it again next year, and again the year after that, and the year after that. And there are also a few projects in pilot that haven't completed and they can transition as well. These projects, we don't want to compromise our open space in New Jersey and our forests and our agricultural land. So all of these projects will have to be located on a rooftop, on a carport, or a parking lot canopy, a landfill or a contaminated site, or on a body of water or floating solar. New Jersey actually has more floating solar than the rest of the country combined. We have 3 large projects around the state. Those aren't community solar, but I know there are a few community solar projects on sand mine ponds that are actually in development. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, she kind of was a kind of like retirement. Couldn't they be incentivized to put them on rooftops of all the retirement communities?
Absolutely. That's
Or like, well, luckily in Britain, we just bought off a big D.R. Horton project, but D.R. Horton's building plenty of other projects in the state. I mean, couldn't they be incentivized to put them all? Like, I thought in California that the rule was that any new construction had to have solar. Couldn't something like that not necessarily be made into law, but couldn't there be an incentivization to have those kinds of bigger construction, bigger communities encouraged to do it?
Yeah, we don't have any specific rules about new construction in New Jersey. But those are, I mean, that's obviously the best time to install solar, and facilities like that would be great.
So there's not a rule against it.
There's not a rule against it. No, I mean, if they want to do a net meter project where it feeds directly into their own electricity usage of the housing of those communities, they're welcome to do that. It doesn't have to be on rooftop if they have open space near the buildings there. The billing of that gets a little complicated because you might have, just a community or the development or the
Well, if it was a
housing
senior community, wouldn't they sort of qualify as a low income potential?
maybe, yeah, if they have low income residents. So they could qualify for community solar, absolutely. So if they plan to build that on their rooftops, they could plan to be a community solar site. And they could then sell the power either as through the community solar mechanism directly to those on-site residents for sure.
Monaswan Reservoir. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's your next one.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot. Or they could sell it elsewhere, anywhere in the utility territory, but half the capacity has to go down.
Is there a size limitation? Because I know there's one in Ocean County that's coming online. And I missed the beginning, but it seems that these were all about the same amount of homes, maybe 700-800 or something like that. Is that sort of,
5 megawatts is the max.
is that a technological restriction or is that part of the?
It's policy and political because we have a fixed incentive that the state provides, and it is a fairly generous incentive. The larger projects we encourage enter our competitive incentive programs. So to reduce the amount that.
It's 5 megawatts.
Yeah, so community solar is up to 5, and that's legislative. Question?
They may be located there, but is there any restrictions on, farm land and open space?
So community solar cannot be located on those. There, I mean, if it were to be like a net metered or a grid supply project, it could. But for community solar projects with that 225 megawatts, there's a ton of interest. So if we just having these options, we have to build enough community solar for that, without needing to also do it on agricultural land. Might change something. Let's see.
Well, obviously, if it's successful, I would assume that people would, and you said there's a lot of interest in it. So
Absolutely, yeah. So I don't think we're not expecting to run out of rooftops anytime soon. So
what we're signing, and if we do, that's a bigger problem.
but yeah, if we do, then that could be good for the agricultural land. But we're looking for those who are better for like long-term projects.
What should be donated there for to do?
Well, one more for community solar.
Got it.
So the registration process. So most of these projects are going to be developed by experienced solar developers or construction companies, and we've got a few representatives of those here. But we also invite municipalities and community organizations to work on development if they might have a rooftop in their community that they know could support a community solar project. And then work with companies like those to construct and finish the development of that as well. There are a lot of avenues to come up with a project, but we do require there to be a lot of preparation before the board approves a project. So that includes interconnection agreement with the utility or application for that, having applied for local permitting, a community engagement plan, and that's a key factor. Is that for community solar, you have to go out there and get customers who are going to be subscribing to your project. And so we want these projects to be working with the municipality itself, the green team, any sort of local nonprofit or other organization that can help recruit subscribers to participate in the program, especially for low and moderate income subscribers. And so with that, we require a letter of support from the municipality. And so if you guys are involved with your governments, you can help look at that and to ensure that, is this a project that we want on a given rooftop, or maybe if there's a landfill or contaminated site in the community that the mayor or the city council would have to approve, that's a good place to put it in the town, and but more importantly, that those are typically going to be good places, that the municipality knows about it and then can work with these organizations to recruit local subscribers. So if you were going to give the developer that approval, then you can say, we want a share of that for our local residents, or we want our residents to get a good discount for that project. So for our application process, projects would apply in our registration portal, and if there is a whole lot of interest in the program, then there would be a tiebreaker on the minimum build discount offered. So there's a little bit of jargon on here, but basically we are going to be selecting the projects that are offering maybe not just 20%, but 23, 25, 27% discounts to participating subscribers. It's the Ashley Furniture Store, distribution center. So as I was saying, low and moderate income households are major.
Where was that? Was that in Route 70? No.
It's in South Brunswick. I'm not sure what highway that is, but so all projects have to have at least half of their capacity subscribed by low and moderate income subscribers, which is defined as having a household income under 80% of the median income. And so something new in our permanent program is that those can be certified with participation assistance programs, living in certain lower income census block groups, or self-attestation. Because we don't want people to be dissuaded from participating in community solar and unlocking the same savings as anyone else can, of having to provide additional documentation. That affordable housing is also able to participate as with community solar. So they just have to provide an affidavit that any benefits from these savings will be passed on to the residents. Yeah.
And I got 36 people who got this found out this sign up for community solar.
Mhm.
And there was a building that has about and there's nothing can be done to get them. And the residents of the building access to solar because there is no provision for next year. It's all nothing.
Mhm.
And not enough spots. for the done for all.
Yeah. So if there is just one utility bill that the project, that the building pays, I guess, it would have to be whoever is in charge of that bill. Is who, the building management assigns up with community solar. But when they sign up for a subscription, then that subscription is typically sized to the building's usage. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that full size. So I think that most community solar subscriber organizations would offer, you could say, we'll just, instead of covering your entire bill, we might only cover half of your bill. So you wouldn't see as big of savings, but it could still get them into the project if there's not enough space available for the entire large building's energy usage. That's one possibility, but also we're seeing a lot more projects coming online. So those could also have more space available for large industrial.
Beginning you said that there's 225 something others that are like that here. Those you'll find that the system solar
Those will all be new projects that are built,
could they be an existing contract or not?
not existing.
And by these projects, you mean if it's coming from this one is in South Point.
Mhm.
It would have to be in some point.
Okay, it could be located somewhere else. So, if you're in Princeton, for new projects that have come online with our permanent program that are approved this year, they could be located somewhere else in the DSCD territory. Have that capacity available. The other thing that'll be coming in 2025 is called automatic enrollments. So this is what's really special for municipalities, is that a municipality could own a project, or they could partner with another project to automatically enroll subscribers. So that this makes the customer acquisition process a lot easier, and also helps the city ensure that perhaps the customers that have the greatest need, but who are the hardest to reach, to be registered for community solar. And so this can allow us to get even more LMI residents to participate. So they can see, okay, these are people that we know in our town live in low income housing, or are in this lower income neighborhood, or participating in a assistance program. And it could be this will be an easier way to get people registered. So North Brunswick. Bill savings Subscribers will always receive at least 15% is what we're gonna guarantee for new projects. But projects will be, as I said, we'll be selecting those that are offering the highest watt values. The other big thing that's coming in 2025 for subscribers is consolidated billing. So this means every project will be working with the utility to have the subscription bill and the regular utility bill appear in the same place on the utility bill. So when a customer signs up, they wouldn't be getting a second bill that they'd have to pay separately. It would just be in one place, and they can see on their utility bill, okay, here's my normal bill, here's my community solar discount. And there we go, it's that simple.
Would that apply to master?
It would. I mean, it would for whoever is paying the bill.
And that's a new, that isn't the way it was originally.
We don't have this. So there are some projects that offer, we call it third-party consolidated billing, where another company can take your utility bill and they'll pay that for you and then you pay them. And also your subscription fee is the
That
same
seems like it's
time.
complicated, and it doesn't sound.
Yeah, we've heard from a lot of people that they don't want to have to deal with a third company, but for some people, it's also easier to just have one bill. So,
But LMI would still apply.
yeah. It's half the capacity would have to be LMI, and the other half of the capacity can be general.
The LMI,
Then they can't sell that like extra electricity and. Right, yeah, so that 51% has to be reserved for LMI. And if they can't recruit that many customers, then that might cost the company some revenue. I guess we want to really want to encourage.
no exception, your exceptions for years. You can't get rid of all of the LMI, you can't sell it to non-LMI.
Mhm.
So when.
So if a project chooses to do automatic enrollment, then they would get 80%. Instead of getting one. It's fine, it's water. I think I'm almost done. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, if you have any other questions, here's my email.
One question. Condo associations,
Mhm.
where the unit is individually metered and billed. So I own this condo, I pay my own bill,
Mhm.
but the building itself has its own energy requirements for
Yeah.
lighting, elevators, whatever. Can that condo, building, can the condo which is incorporated
Mhm.
participate in community solar?
Yep, the condo can do the common areas.
Yeah.
Or, business, doesn't have to be residential.
Can the government do that?
Governments can, yes, if you're
Like
having,
Borough Hall, for example?
if you got a city hall, if you've got a municipal building. Those are all.
Shouldn't they all be doing that then?
So the complication is that if it is a larger facility, it might be on a commercial utility rate.
Hmm.
And that electricity is a little bit cheaper. And so then the savings aren't as big, and also the revenue for the project owner is as big. So there is a preference for residential customers or small commercial that has a sort of a.
Well, for example, my borough hall is down of, 3,500 people,
Mhm.
so I don't know if would they get a commercial rate now?
They might, I mean, if it's a commercial, if it's not considered residential building, they might be on a commercial rate.
It's not residential.
So, I mean, they officially do qualify for community solar. But at that lower rate, they might not see this as much savings, and so.
Would it make any savings at all?
There would be savings, they'd still see 20%, but only on the. Energy portion of the bill. If there's a.
The delivery fee would be.
Yeah. If there's a demand portion of the bill, then that's not covered. So it's a little bit complicated. But so they can participate, but usually most companies are prioritizing residential.
Yeah, when I tell people about this program, they just say, no, that can't be, that's too good to be true. And so I think I heard something say the word incentive. Is that how this actually is managed by these companies, that it's worthwhile for them because you can do incentive with them? What's that look like?
Yeah, the state provides incentives for all solar installations in the state, so your small residential rooftop, a commercial net metered system, a big one that goes to the grid and community solar. The state does pay incentives to those for community solar. It's at $90 per megawatt hour. So that is fairly valuable to the project, and that is paid by ratepayers as a whole.
So it's the same thing I did if I put my solar panels on my roof.
Mhm,
They're doing it.
exactly.
Thanks.
Why don't we hold on the questions for just a second? We'll do the rest of the presentation because I think it'll answer some of the questions and then we'll have Dr. Morgan and I will both take questions after that. So now we're gonna go a little bit to a tour of a new tool, well, relatively new tool. It's been around for a little while now. The Community Solar Project Finder, and this is an outreach tool that was created in collaboration between the Board of Public Utilities and Sustainable Jersey to help residents and other potential subscribers find projects that are in their area. And it's also created as a tool for municipalities and other stakeholder groups to use in doing outreach to their communities. So, when we think about what the municipal role in supporting community solar is, there's a couple things, that you can think of. Of course, if you have a big landfill or if you have a large, building a big, HVAC-free roof, you could be a site. You could develop a community solar project on your municipal property. That's a possibility. If you have, if your town has privately held buildings that would be great sites for community solar projects, like if you have a storage facility or you would typically think like a large building that doesn't use a lot of power by itself. Buildings that use a lot of power by themselves, things like high schools, are typically better off going into the conventional solar program because they can just offset the power that they use. So, storage facilities tend to be great sites, like things like furniture stores that don't use a lot of power. Or if you have properties like that in your community, then you can be what's called a project ambassador. And that's where, a delegation from the municipality goes to the property managers of that site, tells them about the community solar program. Because you can imagine if someone calls, the manager of that store and says, I'd like to talk to you about putting, solar panels on your roof, it's gonna make a lot of money. They might get hung up on it, because there's been a lot of that kind of calling and emailing around solar stuff. So having, if the mayor or someone from the town makes that phone call, it could go a lot better. And that's called being a project ambassador. And so that's something that you can think about, in terms of supporting the community solar project. The third and probably the most common way that municipalities can support the community solar project is to be an outreach partner. And that's where you, same thing that goes with site holders where, they might feel like it's too good to be true, like you were saying, happens with residents as well. That they've seen over the years a lot of like get free solar, no cost to you. So, having that same message come at them, around the community solar program, oh, you're going to save money. It can sound scammy, it can sound too good to be true. So having the municipality that's a trusted partner and, a trusted messenger, be the one to help spread this information and have, your municipal messengers, share images of them subscribing or like even at ribbon cuttings on rooftop projects and stuff. We've seen a lot of that. That can really go a long way to get people to feel like the programs are trustworthy. Also sort of sharing in your green fairs or your fall harvest festivals or any other, public outreach events you have, having a table for community solar can go a long way too. And so this tool was created to help support projects in doing outreach in community solar. And it is, the web address for this tool is sustainablejersey.com/community solar. And I am going to do a very risky thing right now. I'm going to try to do a live web demonstration. It's entirely possible this might be kind of futzy, so bear with me for a second here while I get this going. Okay, so I already have this preloaded up on this. Aha. Yay, it looks like it worked. Okay. So when you go to the homepage of the Community Solar website, you'll see that there's a general overview of how community solar works. It has a lot of the same graphics that I used in the slide deck already. And then at the bottom of that first page, there's resources and fact sheets that folks can use to learn more about the community solar project. Then, if you click on this button, you can type in your zip code and see a list of community solar projects that are open to your service area. So I just typed in my zip code. I live in Maplewood. So I typed in Maplewood zip code, and you can see that there are several projects that are serving Maplewood. And you can see an apples to apples comparison of all the projects. So first of all, let's see, I think I'll just gesture up here. You've got the percentage of savings that's reserved for the customer. And you can see some projects have higher percentages of saving for low and moderate income residents. And then this project has a slightly different percentage of savings. You've got the link to the website. You have information about when the project's going to become operational. And you have, if credit check is required, if automatic payment is required, you have to put a credit card on file for the subscription payments. You can find out whether or not that's required for the project. Is the project open to mastering your buildings? That ties to the question that you were asking about Princeton building. So not all the projects are accepting mastering their subscribers. Then you can also find out the length of the contract. And you can find out if there's a subscription fee or deposit. By the way, the answer to that question for every single project in the program right now is nothing. There's no deposit fee or subscription fee currently. Is there a fee to leave the project? No. Does the percentage of savings over the life of the contract change? So, that's, one of the things that has happened in some solar programs that's caused alarm is that there'll be like an introductory rate and then the rate of participation in the savings will change over time. So we wanted to, have them clearly state that the amount of savings won't change over the life of the contract. Then it tells you what electric utility service area the project serves. So you can only subscribe to projects that are in the same electric utility area as you. So if you, are served by PSEG, you can only subscribe to projects that are located in the PSEG service territory. Now, some of the projects are limited even more tightly than that, and they serve only a select group of municipalities. By using the zip code finder, you should be limited just to the projects that are serving your community. But you do want to make sure, for those of you who live in communities that are served by more than one utility. I remember I was going through this website with a town that was half JCPL and half PSEG. And I was like, you're really gonna have to do a good job of explaining to your residents. People on the west side of town can subscribe to these two projects, and people on the east side of town can subscribe to this project. So you have to subscribe to projects that are located in your service area. Of course, it's not that big of a risk, because if you go to the website and type in your information, they'll just say, oh, you're not allowed to get this project. So it's really
What is the website again?
this is sustainablejersey.com/community solar. Boy, I blanked for a second. I was like, what is the website?
That was a pop quiz. Thank you.
And then the third page of this website is like an FAQ. And it has, definitions of some of the terms you might see in some of the materials. It also has some frequently asked questions and let's see here. So then it also has, that information about how the billing works. When the billing is changed to the consolidated billing that Sawyer was talking about in 2025, we will update this website to match the current situation. We're leaving it as is to reflect what's currently happening, but as the changes are made, you'll see a change to this website. So, residents that feel confused about the way that the billing works can come here. And if you're doing outreach with residents in your community, you can use this tool to sort of walk them through how it works. And so that's going to be, a way to think about structuring your outreach program. let's see, so, we also have, you know, the, over here on the side. We have the, maximum income to qualify as LMI based on the number of people in your household. So that will, help out as well. And, let's see, now I'm gonna go back to. Oh, I can't believe that that worked so well. Hang on just 1 second. Let me get through the rest of these slides and then we're gonna open up for some questions. So, you know, when we think about structuring the outreach campaigns that you might have in your municipality, you know, there you can do what's called an outreach and education campaign, which is really focused around just providing information about all of the community solar projects that are working in your area and the general, you know, details of community solar. Or you might think, you know, about partnering with a specific project and doing outreach with that project. The benefit of some municipalities may not feel comfortable with selecting a specific project to partner with. But the benefit of doing that is if you do partner with a specific organization, they may give you outreach support. But if you want to do a mailing to your residents, they may support the cost of doing the postage for that mailing. And we have specific guidance in our community solar action on the Sustainable Jersey platform about how to negotiate, you know, partnering with a specific project. So if you want more information about that, you can look on the, we have a community solar how-to guide. And Sustainable Princeton, who I believe is represented by Alex over there in the room, has developed some outreach materials for community solar that are available on our website. And you know, Sustainable Princeton has invited you to use those outreach materials. You can take off their Princeton logo, put on your Everytown logo, and there you go. So that's a great resource for you as well. And then again, there is a action in the certification program where you can get up to 25 points in the Sustainable Jersey certification program for doing outreach to community solar projects. And I think that might be, that's my last slide about community solar. Before we go to the questions, I just wanted to quickly make everybody aware that right now, Sustainable Jersey has free energy and technical assistance for municipalities and school districts. This is, you know, assistance getting energy upgrades on your municipal or school building facilities. Members of our technical assistance team can help you get your bills organized and prepared for the incentives and then help you with the application. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, and it's free to municipalities and school districts, we have the websites there, or you can go to the Sustainable Jersey website as it right on the homepage. All right, so now you had a question.
Our zip code is not a zip code, township the tax. So we use.
Our company's becoming covered, our, sorry.
Power is cut off, so if we end with the zip code where we live. It would be for taxes to another township. How was that?
I don't know. No, I'm serious. I actually, let's see what happens.
I can just buy the zip code.
Oh, yeah, so where do you know?
So although the project finder is searched by zip code, eligibility is usually by municipality. So some projects can only serve municipalities that have located it and the neighboring municipalities. I have heard about your case before, so, and I'm pretty sure that the projects that serve Princeton also serve. Yes, I think those all projects will serve both.
Show an income limitation for 1 to 8 people. Is that taxable income or gross? Gross.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so for my project, this is what it was, big with regards to, covered buildings. 100%
there any like ballpark, maybe like percentage of households? Properties that would try to.
Don't know the exact numbers. I know that we're trying to get as part of the overall solar program. 3,750 megawatts within 5 years and the progress is all. But that's,
How do you quantify that number? 5% of the demand or how?
So currently we have about 4.5 gigawatts of solar installed. This, over the next 5 years, we're planning to roughly double that. And currently it is about 7% of safety.
Because usually there's this theory, like, you know, a computer, desktop, adoption, once it gets to 5%, like the mobile phone, and once smartphones got to 5%, that's when it tends to, ubiquity takes off, people like feel like they're missing out. So it seems like you're on track to
Yeah.
create